Welcome to our show. You're listening to Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections, a place to learn about and celebrate creative arts therapy. Each week, we'll explore new ways that music, art, and dance can reach, connect with, and help individuals of all stages of health and wellness. Hi, I'm Bree, a board-certified music therapist and the managing partner for the Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute. Tune in as I interview professionals from healthcare and educational backgrounds on the impact of the creative arts. If you prefer to watch our live video stream, simply visit www.pbmti.com. Hello, thank you so much for joining us tonight. You're listening to and watching Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections. I'm your host, Bree Gordon. I'm a board-certified music therapist and a managing partner at the Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute. If you are joining us for the first time, we're so glad you're here. We are still fairly new to our audience at 95.3 FM, so we're so excited to be growing in that area. But if you are continuing to check us out on Facebook Live or on our AM channel, thank you for sticking around. If you are new, just to give you an idea, this show for the next hour, 1 hour every week on Wednesday nights, we get to shine a spotlight on some really amazing creative approaches to healthcare and education that are going on not only locally in our community, but throughout the country and sometimes even globally, which is really, really neat. I feel like I haven't been here in forever. I was just off last week traveling, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. But before that, I was away for our National Music Therapy Conference through the American Music Therapy Association, and just got an amazing opportunity to learn about what music therapists are doing all throughout the entire country. I mean, we're so lucky to be here in South Florida, in Palm Beach County, especially Palm Beach, Broward, Miami-Dade has some of the largest concentrations of music therapists in the state of Florida. And it really just makes you appreciate where you're at. Because there are some states that, are one or two music therapists in the entire state. Some places when we travel, we're talking to people, they have no idea what music therapy or creative arts therapies are. But they're always really excited to learn about it and to learn about the opportunities that are out there. So if you are one of those individuals who are living in an area where you don't know about music therapy or art therapy or dance therapy or any creative arts therapies, or if you are one of these therapists and you don't have a network, I encourage you to seek out. There are so many forums online, whether it's music therapy you're looking for, you can go to musictherapy.org is our national website, or do some research into some of these other expressive and creative arts. I think you'd be surprised to know how many people are around that it's just growing. We never say that we're ever using the creative arts to replace medicine or anything like that. But there, I think, is just this global initiative that's growing that individuals are looking beyond medicine for some of these other creative and alternative and complementary therapies to come alongside and help individuals reach their goals. So while we do spend a lot of time speaking about the creative arts, as that's obviously kind of my wheelhouse, what I also love is learning beyond that, learning beyond my scope of individuals who are out there just finding these really, really neat ways to reach people, and especially to reach people who are challenged in ways that, going to places like the gym might be a scary thing. It might be a threatening thing. It might be a uncomfortable thing because of whatever reason, whether it's a physical condition, a neurologic accident, any kind of exceptional need. Something as simple as going to the gym or going to these community programs might not be as comfortable. How amazing to learn that there are individuals out there that are aware of these exceptional needs, these unique needs, and tailor programs to them. And I feel so fortunate to have, just by fate, met a young woman local in our area. We're just down the road in Delray Beach, who has opened Beyond Fitness, which is an incredible program. I've gotten to observe a few things there already, and I hope to go back for more. Colleen Sturgis, we're going to be talking to later in the program today about her passion for not only fitness and being a coach and helping people achieve their physical goals, but to help individuals who maybe their needs aren't being met in some of these situations design specialty programs for them to help them reach their fullest potential, enhance quality of life. Sometimes these goals aren't always measurable, and I think that's one thing Colleen and I have bonded on is that passion for looking beyond those measurable goals and looking at what is this value adding to your life in general. Confidence is huge. Self-esteem, self-worth. These are things you can't put a value on. When you go to the gym and mark off, okay, I did 15 reps of loving myself today, but it's an amazing byproduct that can come out of it, and just as important as any physical one we can reach. So I'm so excited to talk to Colleen more about what she does, share her incredible new business with you all. I hope that if you are local and, this sounds like something for either yourself, a client, a loved one, someone you're caring for, that you'll reach out to her and at least get a conversation started about. Because not only does she have some incredible programs that we're going to discuss, but she's still creating. We're all still creating, and you might have a unique need that she hasn't even thought of yet. And there could be another need met in our community, which is it's just the best. That's why I love having this show. That's why it's connections, just making these connections locally and beyond. It's a wonderful thing. So I want to get back to where I was last week. I was traveling for the holiday. I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving, whether you stayed local or you traveled to be with family. Obviously, as we alluded to a few weeks ago on the program, this is might be a challenging time for some, and a lot of healing has been needed all the way around in our community and in our country. So hopefully some of that healing was found, when you met with family and friends and came around the table to share a meal together. I know that it was a wonderful escape for me to get out of kind of the hustle and bustle of South Florida, particularly this time of year, when everyone is starting to come down to escape the cold weather. I went up into the cold weather. It wasn't terrible, but I saw frost, and my poor little dog was like, "Why, Mom? Why am I outside? Why is there white on the ground? What is this? Why did we come to this place?" But then the cold air is just so good for you once in a while, and I know she loved it. We did some hiking, went up to the Smoky Mountains, went to visit my mom in the Smoky Mountains right on the border of Tennessee and North Carolina, and got to see the leaves changing, which is just beautiful, and got to spend some time in Gatlinburg. We were there over the weekend, went in on Black Friday to go to the aquarium and to drive around, to do the mountain coaster and all that. And the lights, oh my gosh, the Christmas decorations they had up, it was just like, it was beyond picturesque. It was just beautiful. Obviously a high tourist destination, and just very joyful, right? Everybody was happy to be there. People were from all over the country. And so just having that experience and how nice it was to be with family and to have fun together and to be out like that. And then now to see on the news the devastation that really, we left Sunday. I'm pretty sure started kicking up Sunday night, Monday morning. I know in my mom's area, the wind has been horrible. She said last night she was like holding on to her dog in the bathroom where the wind sounded like a train going through, how you describe a tornado, and winds and rain compared to an hour away when half the city is on fire. It's just, there's a lot going on in that area right now. So, if you just take a minute at any point today just to send some well wishes, some kindness, some good vibes, some prayers, whatever that means to you, to that area. One thing, I was just talking to my mom on the way into the studio, like I do every week, and she said, if you're thinking of, which many people do this time of year, we just had Giving Tuesday yesterday, and obviously with Christmas coming up, a lot of people will use this opportunity at the end of the year to give. And she said they were doing, a special on the Sevier County, which is the county that Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg and Sevierville are in. The Sevier County Humane Society is a really good option they're accepting donations for, food and blankets and all the things that you might imagine the pets might need. The roads are blocked. So people are having trouble getting back to their homes. A lot of pets, I'm sure, are unaccounted for right now. And as they're finding pets, as they're finding animals, they're bringing them to the Sevier County Humane Society. So if you are looking for a place to give, or maybe to give a gift to someone for holiday time in their name, that might be a good option for you to think about, is the Humane Society in that area. They are very actively looking for donations or any kindness that can come their way. Before we get into our interview today, I always want to start the show off on a musical note, pun unfortunately intended. And so I don't specifically have a Tennessee song. Oh, actually, I do. I do know a Tennessee song. No, I'm not going to switch it up at this point, but I do. I could do Tennessee Waltz. But since, the drive is kind of so nice, from Florida up to Tennessee, and my guest just did the same. Did you do the drive as well? Up to Asheville. It's beautiful as you leave, Florida, to see the leaves changing, to see the seasons start to emerge, and just to give a little musical love to that area, do a little Take Me Home Country Roads. Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, blowing like a breeze. Country road, take me home to the place I belong. Oh, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country road. All my memories gather round her, miner's lady, stranger to blue waters, dark and dusty, painted on the sky, misty taste of moonshine, teardrop in my eye. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. Oh, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country road. Oh, take me home, country road. Take a moment to send a little love to the Smoky Mountain region today. We're going to come back from a quick break. I can't wait to introduce you to my guest today. Colleen Sturgis is here from Beyond Fitness in Delray Beach. Stick around.
Mom's fall was a wake-up call. We knew she needed help, but we also knew she'd never leave her home.
With jobs and kids, we can't always be there. We weren't sure who to trust to help around the house and make sure she takes her medications.
We did our research and found our answer. Bright Star Care. Their home care teams are led by registered nurses, with help available 24/7.
Thanks to Bright Star Care, Mom can stay where she wants to be, at home.
For a standard of care that raises the bar, call 844 for Bright Star.
The Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute is a professional music therapy practice serving medical, community, and educational settings throughout Southeast Florida. With our experienced team of 11 board-certified music therapists, we use music and research-based therapeutic interventions to help individuals of all ages and abilities reach their goals and increase their quality of life. For more information on our services and programs, please visit our website at pbmti.com. Engage with us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or call us at 561-747-9944. You are listening to Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections. If you'd like to join the conversation, the toll-free number is 888-565-1470. Now back to the show. Thank you so much for listening and watching. We are Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections. I'm your host, Bree Gordon, board certified music therapist and the managing partner for the Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute. Thank you so much for joining us. If you are new, we're so excited to have a new audience both on Facebook Live and also at 95.3 FM. And if you're returning, we're so glad to see you again. I mean, I missed it so much, not being here last week. It's funny. This has become like one of my favorite things I do during the week, and just the opportunity to connect you viewers and listeners at home with some amazing resources that are happening, and especially when they're here local in our community, we can actually see the connections being made, and today is a great example of that. So I want to introduce you to my fabulous guest today, Colleen Sturgis. It's so nice to have you here. Thank you, Colleen.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It is my pleasure. Now, I just love how this stuff happens anyways, but you and I had met through a home health care connection, and I said, oh my gosh, you have no idea, this is my other life. One of my other hats I wear is that I love connecting people with these amazing things that are going on, these creative approaches to helping people reach their goals, and you're like, okay, great, why don't you come on the radio show? Well, I think I'm actually going to be doing a show next week. It happened to be Rabbi Jenny, who was just the show right before us. If you're listening on the radio, maybe you caught Rabbi Jenny before, and it's just how the world works. It really is small.
Yeah.
I love it, and I think it's because when people are kind of on the same wavelength of just wanting to help out each other, small business owners who going out on a limb, which we've both talked about that before, to chase our dreams. Clearly, we were meant to run into each other. So thank you for taking the time out of your very busy schedule to come on the show. So if you want to just start by sharing a little bit about who you are, what you do, and what kind of brought you to here.
So, my name's Colleen, and I just opened up a fitness studio called Beyond Fitness, and it's a studio that's for the community. So we're there to help out in any way. So right now we have many different classes. We have specialty senior classes. We have Parkinson's specific classes, rock steady boxing, which is an amazing class. We're starting this month a Dancers with Disabilities for kids.
Yep.
And then we're working in January for the adults, like dancing, a workout class, and even teaching them about nutrition. We have arthritis foundation classes, kids and parents play classes, and we want to just bring the word play back to life, in everything, whether you're a kid or you're an adult. Like me and my partner, Jaren, we just want to share the love with everyone and create a family. And so our place is open to whatever's needed. So if someone comes and says, like you said earlier, we need this kind of population, then we'll create a class for them. So, and if someone wants to come into our place and teach or do a workshop, they can use our space as needed. And, my background is I've been doing fitness for 13 years, working in country clubs and mostly working with seniors and specialty pops. So it's just in my heart to just help. And, it was April of this year that I just one day just quit my job and knew I wanted to do something more. Didn't know exactly what it was, but then within a couple of months, life just opened up all the doors, and it's just such a blessing. I love what I do every day. I love the people. I get all emotional because it's beautiful. So,
and even just, I don't know when the first time I came to see, maybe it was a month or so ago.
Yeah.
Even since then, I've seen the growth in and then we met up a couple weeks ago, and how the calendar has changed. It's constantly evolving, and just opened your doors in April, right?
We actually
you left your job in April.
We opened the middle of September.
So I was there when it was just
when we
opening.
opened. Yep.
Wow.
And that's what we are. We're always going to evolve, and we just, anything to do with nutrition, health, wellness, exercise, anything that helps someone. That's what we want to be. So that's why we named it Beyond Fitness, because it's more than exercise. And in every kind of thing we do, we add the element of the mental as well. So we encourage, we empower, we do little relaxation techniques if needed. So it's just fun.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
What do you kind of contribute this kind of success and growth to, that this kind of the overnight success of just, hey, I'm committed to something, here's how we're going to make it work? What has gone right to just make this?
It's trusting. Like, I mean, when I was on Rabbi Jenny's show, she was talking about trust and following it. And that's really what it is. Just listening to yourself, following that voice, and a lot of hard work.
Yes.
It's like when there's something that happens, like it's an obstacle, it's like, what are you going to do? You just solve it. You don't stress out. You just figure things out. And it's also the connections, like meeting people. And also with all our members, we treat them like family. We really care. And if someone doesn't show up for a couple days, we give them a call, we check on them. And I just think that's important. I think that's what was lacking. And I'm 36, so I started working in gyms when I was 18. And I've kind of just observed everything. And I was like, well, if I opened up my gym, what would I do? And when you walk in the door, you feel love. And you don't feel that in many different places. And that's what... And I believe love is what heals people, and when you care for people. And so through that, having fun, they're exercising and their bodies are starting to feel better, their minds start working better, and that's kind of,
I mean, I just want to be on any fitness regime that lets me look like you when I'm 36. I just want to put that out there first. That should be like advertisement alone. No, but it's true, and not only are you obviously beautiful, but it shows in just how passionate you are for the work you do.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, it just, people gravitate towards that. They know when they walk in your door, it is a very welcoming space. It's very warm. And what I thought was really neat too is I was interested in learning, about the groups and things like that. But the first concern was, well, are the people in the group going to be comfortable with someone from the outside observing?
Yeah.
And if they weren't going to be there. And that's ended up, we politely excuse ourselves. I mean, to me, that was not, hey, maybe this person can bring business in and we want you to... No, it was, are your clients comfortable being watched? Maybe not today. Okay.
Right. No, I guess, because we did
That's so respectful.
We did have people that came in and they wanted to observe and see what this was about. But then I was like, you know what? I feel like this is a safe area and I want everyone to feel as comfortable. And I didn't
Absolutely.
But so that's kind of why I kind of put that up there, because no matter who's coming in, they're coming in not just to exercise, but they're dealing with whatever's going on in their head, and it's a healing place as well.
Sure.
So
well, we know both of us, having worked for as long as we have with individuals with Parkinson's, and I shared with you that through some awesome grants through the National Parkinson Foundation, we've been able to do some music therapy specific groups, fitness and cognitive based, and then I also do the speech groups. Is the hardest part about all of that is reaching the individuals. Because if you are someone, in my experience, I certainly don't have personal experience, but in my experience working with those with Parkinson's, it's so common to feel isolated and to feel depressed and to stay home because there's so much that they've lost. So first of all, when I see someone coming from their house, going through the effort of getting up, getting dressed, getting out the door into the building I'm at, I'm like honored right away, right? Like,
they drive. Some of them drive half hour, 45 minutes to come to class.
It shows such a commitment to themselves that they've for whatever reason decided that's a safe space for them to come to be who they are and not worry about things that would limit them in other situations. I mean, that's the most beautiful thing.
Yeah, it is.
It's so cool. and you had a big group of individuals and just so they're just supporting each other as well.
And that's the good thing about each class. It's a specific group that works together, and they'll be cheering one another on. If someone's having a rougher day, they help each other. And that moral support is what you need too.
Yeah.
And it's community that you create. So
for sure. And I mean, I know I'm going on and on about the Parkinson's because it's just a special place in my heart, and I know it is for you as well. So tell us a little bit about what I did get to see part of this Rocksteady Boxing.
Okay.
What is that, and where did the concept come from?
So Rocksteady Boxing started in Indianapolis, and it actually started with a guy that had Parkinson's, went to his trainer, and he says, let's start some boxing. And as he was starting to box, he started to notice his symptoms started to go away. Because in boxing, you do a lot of different exercises. You do coordination, where you're doing footwork. We do ladders and different, foot drills. You do speed bags, which works on standing up tall, works on patterns. We do combinations, which, you have to know. It's like if you go 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, whatever it may be, they have to remember stuff. So it's so much. And you do balance, strength,
Using the whole brain.
everything. And so he started getting better. And then, like, the Rock Steady name came because he actually held his hand out one day and it didn't shake. And he said, it's rock steady. And that's how it started. So I went up to Indianapolis and I didn't know what to expect, because that was the last day I finished my job was April 20th. That night I went on to a plane to Indianapolis and I was like, I went to the program and I fell in love with it. I was like, this is great. This is helping so many people. We took 2 classes with the members and they were so excited about exercising. They were doing things that people my age don't even do. And I was just impressed with it. And their symptoms were getting better. They all had stories to share. And so that's kind of how it started. And then when I came back, I was like, this is what I want to do. I really want this into the space. And
So is that like a franchise
it's,
idea, or?
I guess for them, you have to just pay like a year fee.
Okay.
So just, have their name and then
Like licensing? Cool.
So that's kind of what that was about. And
Yeah.
so, I took also the concept of rock steady, and then I also took my knowledge of Parkinson's and I infused other different exercises into it. So I just kind of a little shift, made it into your own, and that's the beauty of it. You can just add into it. So it's not just boxing. It's not, because if you're just boxing without purpose. So we have a purpose behind everything, and I try to explain it to them, like why we're doing stuff.
Sure.
Because it's nice to know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think there's so much value in that, in some of the programs that I do, the speech-based programs for Parkinson's. I'm like, hey, we have fun in here. We sing, and that's great, but that's not why we're here.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's awesome that we have this time together and we look forward to it. But what I really want is, that we're working on vocal, volume and vocal quality, so that if something, God forbid, happens while you're at home, you have the strength to yell to someone in the next room, or to be able to communicate what you need to over the phone, or not even an emergency situation, be at a social gathering and be able to communicate to someone. So I think that's very respectful, like you're sharing to say, hey, we're going to box, we're going to sing, we're going to play a drum, we're going to do this. Here's why.
Yeah.
It's awesome that we can do it in a way that's fun and enjoyable and to look forward to, but here's the real life reason why we're doing this. My gosh, I unfortunately have to cut to a quick commercial break.
Okay.
But we have so many cool things. This is just one of the programs that you offer.
Yep.
There's so many more. So stick around. We're just going to have a quick word from our sponsors. You don't want to miss the rest of our conversation with Colleen Sturgis. The Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute is a professional music therapy practice serving medical, community, and educational settings throughout Southeast Florida. With our experienced team of 11 board-certified music therapists, we use music and research-based therapeutic interventions to help individuals of all ages and abilities reach their goals and increase their quality of life. For more information on our services and programs, please visit our website at pbmti.com. Engage with us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or call us at 561-747-9944.
Mom's fall was a wake-up call. We knew she needed help, but we also knew she'd never leave her home.
With jobs and kids, we can't always be there. We weren't sure who to trust to help around the house and make sure she takes her medications.
We did our research and found our answer. Bright Star Care. Their home care teams are led by registered nurses, with help available 24/7.
Thanks to Bright Star Care, Mom can stay where she wants to be, at home.
For a standard of care that raises the bar, call 844 for Bright Star.
You are listening to Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections. If you'd like to join the conversation, the toll-free number is 888-565-1470. Now back to the show. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. You are listening to and watching Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections. I'm your host, Bree Gordon, here with my guest tonight, Colleen Sturgis. Again, thanks so much for being here, Colleen.
Thank you.
From Beyond Fitness, a very apropos name, as we're finding out, for her fitness center here locally in Delray Beach, Florida. But if you are not local, it sounds like this is another opportunity for people to maybe reach out and find out about some really cool things going on in their own community. You know, the Rocksteady program sounds like it's beyond South Florida. We're going to talk about some other ideas that you have, you know, and if you don't have it in your area, learn. You know, that's what this is about too. Learn that there's some really cool ideas out there. But if you are local, we have an amazing offer that Colleen has very generously offered 1 month of unlimited classes at her gym for free. I mean, this is ridiculous. All you have to do is call into the show 888-565-1470 and share with us a fitness goal. Now, remember, it should be your beyond fitness goal, right? It doesn't have to be immeasurable. It can be. You want to lose weight or tone up or strengthen, but it could be
be happy.
Be happy. Make friends.
Yeah.
You know, connect with others. Meet Colleen because she's amazing. Like, that could be your goal. That's a great goal. So all you have to do is call in to the show tonight, 888-565-1470. You have a half hour to call in. And the first person to do this and share their Beyond Fitness goal with us, it's a free month of unlimited classes at the gym. And you are located where, Colleen?
We're on Atlantic Avenue in Delray Beach between Military and Jog. Okay. So it's Peachtree Plaza. If you know 3G's, the area, it's across the street from 3G's.
Perfect. Yep. So right here, you know, in this central to southish Palm Beach County, easy to get to. You don't want to miss out on this. So we'll continue on. If you aren't sold already, we'll continue on with these amazing programs. So we talked a little bit about Rocksteady Boxing, the idea you had gotten from Indianapolis, you said? And have been working on it. And it is specific to individuals with Parkinson's? Okay.
Yep.
And how about some of these exceptional needs classes, dancers with disabilities?
Okay.
Yeah,
so
let's
we'll
chat
go
about that.
So it's actually one of our members there. She's a teacher at the school down the street, and she works with children with autism and Down syndrome. And she came up to me and she says, why don't we start this? And I was like, let's do it. You know, I'm like totally open-minded, you know, started putting our feelers out, and we've got, you know, a couple people that feed to get back to us, and they're so excited. They're like, we've been looking for this. There's nothing like this in our community. And that's what excites me about the space. Like, if there's something not met, we'll create it. And so the dancers it's for kids. It's like preteens, and it can go all the way up into like the 20s because, you know, it's just going to be a nice open group where we're all just having fun. I'm not the main teacher, but I'll be there helping out. It's going to be doing like ballet, tap, jazz, you know, hip hop, all sorts of different types of dances, but it's about, you know, confidence, you know, and being comfortable. So if the kids do decide to go to a dance, they know some dances or, you know, and the one thing about dancing that I like always say like to my students is, I've never seen a sad dancer or an unhappy dancer. It brings joy to you. Like, I know even my son and I, like, when we're kind of like, you know, in a funk or something, we put music on and we start dancing, and then just everything shifts. So I'm really excited about having this, and I just can't wait to be a part of it and help out with it. And then even by, you know, starting that one, I had another lady that works with the older adults. She contacted me, and she wants to put a program together for older people with disabilities, like anywhere from like 20s to older. They can all be together, and we're going to put together an exercise program.
Physical needs or cognitive needs?
Both. Okay. So any kind of disability group, so we're going to do an exercise class for them. As long as like this first group we're going to do is, you know, as long as they're able to do the things, you know, or they can bring their aid with them.
Okay. That was going to be my next question. That's great.
So they have their aid. As long as they have that, you know, if they might, some of them are fine on their own. But we're going to put an exercise class together for them, a dance class for them, and eventually we want to start to teach them about nutrition and self-care, taking care of yourself, taking them to the grocery store, teaching them how to shop for food. You know, it's limitless. So we're just open to like
to one-stop shop.
Allow it to evolve as is. And that's kind of our philosophy with our space. You know, we're not like set on this is what it has to be. We're like, all right, just open it up.
Yeah.
And that's kind of been what's working, you know?
So exciting. And, you know, there's just, I mean, beyond the growing healthcare needs in our area with, you know, neurologic diagnoses like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and all of these on the rise, an even more unmet need is the needs of caregivers.
Right.
Because as these diagnoses are increasing and our population is just increasing and our population in Palm Beach County is increasing so much, so many of these individuals are caregivers.
Right.
Sometimes they're sandwich generation caregivers. They're caring for kids and their parents.
Yeah.
What have you noticed is the impact of these programs on the caregivers?
So yeah, one thing I did notice was with the caregivers is how much they have to do, you know, and a lot of them are just excited that the people that they're caring for are starting to it's like they just come to life, you know, and have their wives emailing me and saying, oh, he's so excited about exercising. You know, just a guy that's never exercised before, wakes up early, has breakfast, is ready to get picked up, and comes to class at 8 a.m.
Wow.
And I mean, that's exciting, you know.
And look at all those healthy habits that are started just from getting to class. I mean, it's starting from waking up on a schedule.
Right.
And motivation to get dressed and having a breakfast.
Right.
You know, I mean, there's so much involved in that.
It
That's
gives
awesome.
it just gives them this motivation, you know, and you know this. Oh, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna get my workout. It's something to look forward to.
Yeah.
You know, and especially sometimes when the days to get very routine-y, it's nice to have that little speck in the week, and that gives you the energy. And the one thing with the caregivers that we are thinking about doing is doing some yoga and meditation for them.
Right.
Because there's a lot on them. They have a lot to deal with, and I think if they just have a little hour for themselves or an hour and a half, so that's what we're working on right now. Just a
That's
space
awesome.
for that.
And again, I love that you're open to this idea of if someone, you know, listening or watching
Yep.
is thinking now, because now you should be creatively thinking as
Right.
we're exploring all of this of, I bet this would be a great area and a use for this space. You're open to it.
Open to it, yeah. If you're a teacher and you have an idea and you want to implement it, call me. Let's create it together. You
Creative
know?
arts therapist. I mean,
Right.
we've talked about some opportunities.
and
for
we
music
even want to get
therapy.
music therapy.
Yes.
So if we have enough interest in that,
Yep.
it's there.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think I see, not to turn this into a business meeting, but, you know, we've talked about so many
Yeah.
implications for drumming, you know,
Oh my
fitness-wise.
gosh.
And I mean, how do you see music and using recorded music even with the boxing program? How do you see that fitting into that? Do you use music when they're
yeah,
boxing?
we have inspirational music going, something that has rhythm, and we play it. It's not soft; it's loud. It's fun. It's an upbeat, you know. So and that just gets them moving
For sure.
you know, and we find the rhythm with our walking and all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
Excellent. That's great. This is really cool. I don't really actually, I'm so excited personally to learn about this grassroots holistic
Oh,
Chamber
yeah.
of Commerce networking. Tell me about this.
So it's actually our friends, Regina and Josh. They run this grassroots group, and it's for, you know, entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs, any age, but it's all into like holistic health
Okay.
without helping people. So we're actually going to have our first meeting at our space. It's December 19th. So
Okay.
anyone that's an entrepreneur or in the health field, we're meeting that night and just networking. And then we're basically want to evolve that space, that grassroots, into the holistic chamber of commerce. Eventually, that's our goal. And we would just want to be small businesses that help one another out. And
love
we want to
that.
create community. So it's like no one's against each other.
Sure.
Everyone's there. Like, you know, we help each other. If someone has, oh, you need to go to a gym, here's one.
Yeah.
Or we bring each other to our different events. So
When is this?
that's December 19th
Okay.
at 6:30 to 8:30.
What day of the week is that?
It's a Monday night.
Okay.
Let me just check the date on that one. Give me a
I would
second.
love to go to
Yeah,
that.
come
It's
to
very
it.
Cool.
It's December 19th. And that first one we're actually going to do. It's just going to be a fun one. You
Okay.
can just bring a present. A
Okay.
funny gift present, wrap it up, and we're going to do like a fun gift exchange.
Cool. Cool.
And just make it lighthearted right before the holidays.
all healthcare related fields or just any
you know,
entrepreneurs?
the community, anyone in Delray, small business owner, any entrepreneur, you know, and I guess most of the people that do come to the group are in the health field or, you know, helping people out in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. What a great idea.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're all drawn to these professions because we're helpers by
Right.
nature, and it's natural for us to want to help support.
Right. So
others as
helpers
well.
coming together to help each other and just, you know, get this little capsule of us that going, like-minded people, and
Yeah.
then just grow out. And
Yeah.
so I'm really excited about that. It's going to be our first meeting there. So
Excellent. I
Yeah.
love that. And like how you were kind of paying homage to that too when you talked about just the idea of starting your own business and how, you know, relying on these good people, connections that you make in
Right.
the community. So walk us through, because there might be someone listening who's like, hey, I want to do that. You know, I want whatever the field is.
Start a business?
I want to start a business, you know?
Yeah, do it.
Do it, right? So what were some tips that you might give someone who's thinking like, how do I make this a reality? How do I follow my dreams?
Yeah. That's a good, I mean, like, it just happens. You just do it. You know, you sit, like for me, I found everything when I sat and meditated. It was quiet with myself, and I just listened and connected to what I felt. And then once I knew what I wanted, you just start. Like, you don't even have to always know what you're doing. You just
Fake
do
it till you make it.
You do it. And as I said, obstacle comes up, you solve the problem. And, you know, you start finding, you meet connections along the way. This person, you talk to this person and this person, and before you know it, you've created something. But for me, I just, you know, once I left my job, I was a huge leap of faith, and I knew I had to do that. But it's like, sometimes you have to do something like that for everything else to open. And you can't be scared about it. I feel like you have to take these opportunities now. If you're doing something that doesn't make you happy in life, don't keep doing it. You know, I feel like life is about being happy and enjoying it. It's not easy. Nope. It's tough. But happiness is what's important. And if you're not happy what you're doing, maybe it's time to just kind of look into something what like speaks to you. And then once you follow that and what's really important to you, the path is almost a lot easier. It's when you're fighting and you're trying to do something that's not true to yourself is when it's the hardest. So, I mean, I just believe that you should just go for it. You know, I know some people it's hard. I mean, for me, I have an 8-year-old, so I was like, oh, what do I do? But I just did it. I know it's like,
how have you noticed your relationship with your son being different since you are doing what you love?
Yeah, I mean, well, one thing I'm excited about is like, I haven't had a holiday off in 7 years. So we're going to have our first Christmas this year together, so I'm excited. But I've made him part of the business. He and I teach a class together on, I think it's, Thursdays and Fridays at 3:30. And it's a parents and kids play hour. So we teach together, and he's just excited. We bring play in there. We take breaks and we play. And it's not like he's separate from the business. We pay him. You know, you teach a class, we pay him. You do your chores, we pay him. And I get more time with him than ever. And I think it's good for him to see, you know, me developing something that I'm truly passionate about because he'll do that when he gets older.
Yep.
You know?
I mean, that's how, you know, I talk about it all the time. Grew up in family business, went to work with my mom when she was, left her job and became an entrepreneur. And I mean, I knew from a young age that's what I wanted to do. Yeah. You know, and you learn that at 8. You learn that young, and you see your parents succeeding and thriving and loving what they're doing. It makes a lifelong impact. So from someone being on the other end of that, you do an amazing job for your son. And I think that is part of the coolest thing about you is what you just shared about how you're
he's like so important to me. So I was a little worried because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm opening my business. Why not get as much time with him? But you make it. You infuse it into there.
Yep. Because that's part of your joy. Yeah. You're doing this to have joy in your life.
And I do it with my partner, Jaron. He's my boyfriend. And it's like I get to work with my best friend every day. And we have so much fun. And it's just like a dream come true.
That's awesome. That is so cool. We're going to be talking about not only the programs you already have going, but some future opportunities. The offer is still on the table, 888-565-1470 to call into the show. 1 month of unlimited classes. If we don't get a call on the show, we'll roll it over to social media. So first person to let us know what your Beyond Fitness goal is. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Mom's fall was a wake-up call. We knew she needed help, but we also knew she'd never leave her home.
With jobs and kids, we can't always be there. We weren't sure who to trust to help around the house and make sure she takes her medications.
We did our research and found our answer, Bright Star Care. Their home care teams are led by registered nurses, with help available 24/7.
Thanks to Bright Star Care, Mom can stay where she wants to be, at home.
For a standard of care that raises the bar, call 844 for Bright Star.
The Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute is a professional music therapy practice serving medical, community, and educational settings throughout Southeast Florida. With our experienced team of 11 board-certified music therapists, We use music and research-based therapeutic interventions to help individuals of all ages and abilities reach their goals and increase their quality of life. For more information on our services and programs, please visit our website at pbmti.com, engage with us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or call us at 561-747-9944. You are listening to Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections. If you'd like to join the conversation, the toll-free number is 888-565-1470. Now back to the show. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. You're listening to and watching Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections. I'm your host, Bree Gordon. I'm here with I'm just continually awe-inspired as this conversation unfolds. Colleen Sturgis, thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you.
If you have missed our conversation, please take the time to go back and catch it. You can go to our Facebook page at Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute, and we're airing there live on Facebook Live now, but it'll be archived there, so you can find this show and any past shows on our Facebook page. Before we've got so much more to talk about. Before we go any further, I just want to give you a chance to let people know how they can reach you if they have any questions or they want to sign up for any of your programs.
Okay, so I'll just give you either our website is beyondfitnessdelray.com, or you can call me 561-441-4444, and
That's a good number.
Yeah. That's my cell phone, work number. It's all of it.
It's everything. Do you have a social media?
We have a Facebook page too.
Okay.
Beyond Fitness, so you can check that out too.
Which you're getting alerts from, like, currently, because it's probably linked on our Facebook Live.
Yep, I linked it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, and we'll give that number and a website before we close. But, okay, we talked about Rock Study. We talked about some of the exceptional needs classes for children, dancers with disabilities.
Yep.
You've got some future programs coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell the story with my son? That one?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you. Oh, my gosh.
Because I told it on the break, so.
You have to. It was the best.
So I was teaching a class which we have on Thursdays called Peaceful Warriors, and it's for kids, and it's about empowering. We do boxing and exercise and a little bit of yoga and meditation at the end. And in that class, I set up, he was watching me, and I set up an obstacle course for the girls, and I said, okay, I had him go through, and at the end, I said, okay, stand up and say one thing that you like about yourself. So he was teaching his class with another little kid. He set up the obstacle course all by himself, and then he made the other little kid say one thing he liked about himself, and he whispered to me, he said, "Mom, I learned that from you." And that's awesome. So
That's everything. You're like,
that's everything. And
I mean, paychecks are nice, but
I know.
that's everything.
I know. If you can empower a child, they're going to change our future. So I feel like it just makes me so happy. And then he shares that with the other kids, and it's just kind of like a continuation. So
And maybe they share that with their parents.
right.
You know what I mean? It goes both ways.
It goes, yeah.
Sometimes kids are so much more, I mean, you know better than I do, but just picking up this joy and this play and so uninhibited that they remind the adults,
Right.
to play.
I mean, he's my best teacher. I mean, once I had him, he just blew my mind, and he's taught me so much. So I mean, I honor him every day. It's just a blessing to be his mom. So.
That's so awesome. And if you don't mind, I just want to share just on the theme of play and the connection with that, a story that was kind of cool that came out of a group I did today, which was a cancer support group for individuals who are actively going through treatment for their cancer site. And this woman had been away, snowbird, and came back to the group, and she said, "You know what? I've been coming to this group for years, and my husband finally asked me today, what do you do? What are you going to music therapy for? What do you do?" She says, "Well, we play instruments." He's like, "What do you mean? You learn the accordion or the piano?" And she says, "No, we play rhythm instruments, I said, "What do you mean, kids do?" And it was funny how she said, I thought, oh, he's going to have a negative connotation to that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, like kids do, you just go play. And she said, "Yeah, we have fun."
Of course.
And it's funny because I almost went into defense mode too. I'm like, "No, these are good drums we have here. These are adult instruments, but I just kept my mouth shut and I'm listening to the conversation. And she's like, "Yeah, that's what we do." And he goes, "Well, are there any men in this group?" And she said, "Yeah. And some people bring their husbands, And he goes, "Well, why didn't you bring me?
Aw.
I want to go."
Yeah.
And I mean, that just made me, because it was so funny how I went into almost internal defense mode of no, we do more than kids, you know, right? And then the response was so positive, I want to play.
Right.
That sounds amazing. I want to do that. And it just reminded me, yeah,
Let's all be kids.
Let's all be kids and play. That's not a bad thing.
And that's like my word. Yeah, my boyfriend always says that. That's your word. Because I'm always about, let's make everything play. Whether you're going shopping, whether there's always room to play in life. You know, we don't have to take it so serious.
It was such a cool moment for me to hear, and
That's
also
beautiful,
to
yeah.
put myself in check of like, yeah, it's okay that we play in here.
Right.
Yeah, therapy is happening, but we're playing and having fun.
Right.
You know, it was really cool, and just made me think of that.
Yeah.
You know, it sounds very similar to what you're teaching. You know, both kids and adults.
That's right.
Which is so cool. It's something fun, play, music. These are things that connect us regardless of age,
Right.
or circumstance, or where we come from. Okay, now future programs.
So future programs.
Yeah.
Okay, so next week we have an amazing meditation class, and it's an Osho meditation, which is a very unique one. It's about, we do a little bit of movement in the beginning, some dancing, just kind of movement, and everyone's kind of like, the lights are dim, doing your own thing, and then we just sit quietly and meditate. And I took a sample of the class a couple weeks ago, and I fell in love with it. It was sometimes when you're meditating, it's very individual, but this class, you leave and you feel so connected to everyone, even though you're doing your own thing. And I was like, wow, this is what we could use, you know, a program where everyone comes in, they meditate, and then it builds on each other. And that's another way to create that community. Like, I always look at the world and I'm like, okay, well, all that stuff's going on. Can't do too much about that. But you can start with your own little world and build from that. And like, I just see that the meditation class, I think it's so great. And if you haven't tried meditation, I suggest try it, because it's like, it's the best. It changed my life. It gives you peace of mind day to day, and you find that joy in life because you're not so caught up in all your thoughts. So, I mean, I could talk about meditation for like hours. So I don't want to get stuck on that, but
that's one of those things that, like, I always thought, nope, my mind's too busy. I can't do meditation. And in a point in my life when really I probably needed it the most, out of nowhere, all of my guests lined up for like a month back in spring. We're all on mindfulness and all on meditation.
Yep.
I didn't even plan it that way. It just happened. And I sat here week after week. I'm like, okay, I'm listening.
yeah,
I get it. I need to listen to my body. We were just talking about this too.
Yep,
Your body
today.
will let you know when you're not happy in a job, when
Right.
you need to make some kind of positive change, whatever that means. And it sounds like that's a real focus.
right. Because like, we're so caught up in thought that we rarely pay attention to our body or what we truly want. So when you practice being quiet, and at first you're gonna think, and that's fine. It takes work. Just like you train your muscles, it's training your mind. So
Sure.
we're changing our mind when we focus on one thing. And you can focus on different things, breath, an object, whatever it may be. But the more you kind of just practice, just a couple of minutes a day, you'll find that like after your meditation, you don't get so boom, 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 boom everywhere. You're just
It's
more,
practice.
it's practice, just like anything. And that's why I tell
Right.
people, like, a lot of people are like, oh, I can't do it. I'm like, just start. And like, so that's one of our programs. And I guess we're starting that, the dancers class. And then in January, we're starting a class for girls called I Am Beautiful, to empower them with self-esteem or, you know, any kind of body image. But I just think it's so important to empower girls at a younger age. You know, for me, I dealt with low self-esteem, and it took a lot of work. And now I'm like, after all of that, I really want to just share the things that I use to help with my healing process. And, you know, if you can start them off earlier, it'll help them so much in their 20s, so much in their, like, just life.
Sure.
You know, when you feel good about yourself, you can do anything.
Even just normalizing those feelings.
Right.
Like, you're not the only one feeling that way.
Right.
We're just not talking about it.
Right. So, I mean, that's just some of them that we have going now. And, you know, again, we're open to adding and adding and adding. So
we're going to give, before we close today, another chance for you to share how to contact you. But this is like, if you have any questions, you're interested in any of these classes for yourself, for a loved one, or if you're a teacher or a therapist or a community member who has a special gift, a special niche, you're open. You have this like community space, really.
That's right.
To just, you know, like the show does, just shed a light on something that people didn't even know was out there.
Right.
I mean, some of these programs, they seem just so incredible of how did someone think of it, but it's so basic, right? Just returning to this idea of looking yourself in the mirror and feeling confident. You know, I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome. And we're not the only ones. There's a lot of us out there
lot of us,
who are doing these really cool things. So call Colleen. If you have
Yep.
a gift or a passion in one of these areas, let her know. And if you want to take another minute, Colleen, to share how to contact you.
Okay, so you're going to contact me Facebook, beyondfitnessdelray.com, or you can call me 561-441-4444.
And I forgot to say this before, and we definitely don't want to not say this. You have a special running.
Yes, we
Right.
do have a special running for the holidays. It's 10 classes for $99. We also, we have different class packages, monthly memberships, and discounted rates for some of our specialty programs like our Rock Steady program. So just give me a call and answer any of your questions.
And just, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No
And
worries.
just really quickly, just in case someone's kind of catching the tail end, who can come to your space?
It's open for everyone. We have something from kids to seniors, and specialty classes for seniors, arthritis foundation, chair yoga, Nia dance, everything. And then we have the earlier morning for all ages. So that's it.
It's everyone.
Everybody.
It's everybody. We're going to roll over our giveaway to social media, if that's okay.
That's fine.
First person to respond to us with your Beyond Fitness goal, you're going to get a month of unlimited classes at this amazing space with Colleen. Thank you so much for coming on the
Thank you.
program tonight.
That was great.
I can't wait to come back and check it out and hopefully get a chance to take class one of these
Yes.
days. I would just really benefit from that. So I'm so glad you're in our community. Welcome.
Thank you.
If you have any
You
questions,
too.
reach out to Colleen. We'll see you next week. Thank you for listening to Palm Beach Music Therapy Connections. We hope you enjoyed today's program and discovered new ways to bring music, art, and dance into your home or workplace. Please find a copy of today's show at pbmti.com. If you have any questions for our guest or myself, please email me at Bree, that's BREE, at pbmti.com, or call the Palm Beach Music Therapy Institute at 561-747-9944. Tune back in next week for an all-new live show. See you then.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Talk 1470 is